5 pesos. Pero que no lo vean porque van a empezar a estar dando. Te lo doy ahorita. Es que hay una señora que está enferma. Hay una señora que está enferma. Dale,
Good evening. How's everybody doing? God bless everybody that is watching. Thank you so much for joining in. Again, people, I will change the camera in a few seconds. We are live from Mapastepec, Chiapas, as the crisis continues. And this doesn't change at all as people have taken the matters into their own hands. Look, they're doing a haircut right here. And as the situation has been happening in the past days, migrants have been blocking the highways, and they have been blocking continuously places where they feel that they're not being helped and transportation is not being done. So I will flip the camera in a few seconds. Around 900 migrants are located right here waiting for buses for them to be immediately moved on Saturday and Sunday. A lot of them, they are shocked on the Stay in Mexico policy that is going to be established on Monday. They are completely shocked. They thought that President Biden was going to be the difference. They thought that President Biden was going to be the change. They thought that President Biden was going to be the #1 help. And now they understand that it was all a lie. And let us go to where there is shade so we can continue this live broadcast because the phone gets overheated. So I'm right here live at a park. Right here live at a park where everybody is resting. They are with the, I will explain the whole situation. It is just a complete chaos. What has been happening in Tapachula. Complete chaos. What has been happening. Let me just flip the camera right here. You guys can see, sorry about that. I'm trying to get the tripod ready. Let me just flip the camera. How's everybody doing? God bless everybody that is watching. I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News, correspondent for Real America's Voice News. We are live again from Tapachula for the 10th time, people. This is our 10th time visiting the beautiful city of Tapachula. And not only the Tapachula, the state of Chiapas. We have walked with more than 18 municipal cities. And this is one of them that we have walked. And this is one of the hardest parts that is called Mapastepec. Thank you so much for joining in. Share this video out. If you guys can help me out, share this video. God bless you all. Let me explain what has been going on. So this group of migrants, it was a first group that it was 180 only migrants that they were stranded. And that particularly transportation was not provided past the last week. Transportation meaning what? Buses have been provided for them to exit the state of Chiapas, for them to go to central states, which means these central states are Puebla, Ciudad de México, Querétaro, and Jalisco. That's particularly the states that they're sending them, that they're on the south part of the country of Mexico, and the central south of the country of Mexico. So a lot of buses have been leaving. Ultimately, a lot of them, they don't stay in these particular states, and they go to migrate to the border to enter the United States of America, to deliver themselves as a case of asylum in a non-port of entry or a port of entry. This ultimately had a repercussion, and not all of them fit on this bus, as there's a catastrophe also in the stadium where more than 10,000 migrants are awaiting also buses there. And there's another park that is an ecological park, which is huge, and there's also 2,000 migrants waiting there. And there's 3,000 that they're coming on a caravan right now, walking from Tapachula over here. And ultimately you have all these other, little portions of migrants that they are continuously walking, and their #1 goal is to get to Mapastepec, because there it was the promise from a general that is called Cuellar, that he came over here from the Institute of National Immigration and promised them that they were going to get moved on Saturday and on Sunday. Now, how many of them are right here? There are 900 of them. All of them, they have been waiting here for 12 days. And I want to ask this question. 12 days you have been waiting. They have been waiting here. No United Nations has been arriving here. No UNICEF has been arriving here. No non-governmental organization or NGO has arrived over here. These people, they don't have food, they don't have water, they don't have nothing at all, and they're waiting here for 12 days. 12 days without no answer, 12 days without, without, no solution, and 12 days of the promises and basically the Institute of National Immigration of Mexico doing a horrible job on telling them that they're going to be provided buses, so these people have the idea that they are going to leave Chiapas, and they make them stay over here for days and days and days and days. This has been happening continuously. Now, behind me, you will see around 900 migrants that they have their dreams and they have their idea that tomorrow there's going to be buses that they're going to come in, and ultimately they're going to provide some sort of transportation for them to exit the state of Chiapas. Now, what is going to happen if this is provided? Now, I have been asking, they have been calling me, and they have been telling me, Blue, what do you think about the Stay in Mexico policy? I say, Stay in Mexico policy, it is a strict policy. It is a strict policy that tells the asylum seekers to wait in Mexico for them to process their asylum case into the United States of America. It is the correct legal way to do it. Now, they are shocked. All of them, they are complete shocked that President Biden has also implemented this Stay in Mexico policy. Why? Because they thought that President Biden was going to help them, as he has been lying all this time. Not only that he said that he was going to help them, but he said that he was going to create a better pathway for them as they were walking and migrating. And not only that, but ultimately it's lying about all the humanitarian help that he's sending. Because it's about, this globalist compact of immigration that is a broken system, and ultimately it does not work. So we are live right here from Mapastepec. Let me show you a little bit. A lot of the migrants are concerned that their cases are not going to be heard in the United States of America. How everything drifted. You know what I mean? It drifted because a lot of them, they said, we want to stay in Mexico. We just want the Mexican permit. But now everything drifted, that they know that the Stay in Mexico policy is going to be implemented. So it drifted more because ultimately, now they know that their access to the United States of America is going to be really limited. So everything is drifted. The energy is drifting. The idea is drifting. Just the ideology of them walking freely, it is drifting completely. Now their mindset is, what are we going to do now? Are we going to return to our country? Are we going to stay in Mexico and wait for 6 months without no job, and possibly, at a border when we don't know? All of these things are it's part of this, everything, every no solution that has been given. And the number one complicit right here, there's two governmental organizations and administrations that are complicit. The Mexican organization, the Mexican government, that is number one complicit for signing the globalist compact of immigration, and ultimately also the Biden administration for incentivizing this to continue and not to put a right and a correct way to migrate, in a correct pathway, and ultimately be transparent and say the truth. These people just want these people just want the truth. They don't want nothing else. They just want the plain truth. Plain truth. Somebody saying right here, Oscar, tell the migrants they have to stay in Mexico. Who are you for me to tell that? Who do you think I am? I'm a reporter. I'm here to document. I'm sorry if I'm not being disrespectful. But a lot of people make these comments like, stop them, Oscar Blue. Tell them this, Oscar Blue. Tell them that. I'm here to report and I'm here to document. So let's focus on the video. Let me change the camera right here for people to just understand what is happening. They're signing. They're in the line right here. There's a place where they're cooking their meals, and they're eating rice, and they're eating some kind of soup. And you have a big majority of migrants right here underneath this roof. And the weather ultimately is extremely hot, humid. Like always, Chiapas, it is a tropical place. So a lot of migrants are going to come they're going to be moving fastly at a fast pace because of the stay in Mexico policy. Why? So a lot of them, they're trying to move at a fast pace because they don't want to stay over here. So ultimately, it's going to be a big collapse at the borders, at the north borders, where our partner Real Anthony Owedo has been broadcasting. That is Eagle Pass and also Del Rio, Texas. There's going to be a big collapse over there of people. Huge collapse of people. Why? Because everybody's going to start going over there massively and at a fast pace for them to try to get an opportunity to enter into the United States of America. So let us flip the camera right here. I'm gonna flip the camera and I am going to walk right now for a few seconds. Walk in the middle of everything like I have always done, people. Always have brought you guys raw and uncut footage for you guys to understand how this catastrophe and how this crisis, it is a crisis. And ultimately, you know, the number one that is more embarrassing, that is extremely embarrassing, is the way that these Democrats, and you know, and I'm talking particularly of the Democratic Party, the way that they are portraying this catastrophe. They're still calling it a challenge. Still, they're calling it a challenge. It is so absolutely insulting to call this a challenge when you have this crisis that is occurring and nobody's being held accountable. Now, there's multiple people that they have died during this travesty in the Darien Gap, also in the Mediterranean Sea, where a lot of people are profiting and a lot of people are making a lot of money of traffickers that they're trafficking people through Europe, and ultimately to their number one goal is to bring them to the continent of America. Luckily, right now the migrants have portable bathrooms, and also the way that they're drying their clothes is on the floor because of the heat. So what I'm saying is, look at all this, man. We have been documenting. I have been out of my home for exactly now 27 days, going back and forth, documenting this enormous problem that we have on the most, sacrificed border that is Tapachula, and the most, undeniably, it is the most, unfair border possibly in the world, as is in terms to humanitarian help. It is a reality, people. There's a humanitarian crisis, and whoever doesn't want to call it like that, go ahead and fall on your bed and dream of nothing is happening and everything is okay. Go ahead and dream of rainbows and those My Little Pony stories and all that kind of stuff. This is a reality, and it is created by a globalist organization that is called United Nations, and they're not doing anything about it. And the United Nations should be here feeding these people, giving them water, giving them advice on how to migrate, how to do things correctly, where to migrate, where they have more possibilities to do so, how to obtain paperwork, where the quantity of people that are going to be accepted, who is not, which border should they go, which border they should not go because of the enormous trafficking and abuse towards children, which border they should transport themselves, which country they should not go, which country they should go. All of that information is not provided by the United Nations. All of it. It is still it's like a smoke screen, and it's like a breeze. Everybody's trying to touch it, everybody feels it, everybody smells it, but you can touch it and you cannot, you're not touching anything. It is exactly like that. And this is what they're doing. They're transforming, they're creating a crisis which is continuous, which you got children, you got kids, you got families, you got all these multiple thousands of people. In the next incoming days, we will be broadcasting and we will be documenting for you guys everything that is happening right here in Mapastepec, as buses are going to come tomorrow, and we are going to see if the Institute National Immigration officer leader Cuellar, it is going to be held his word that he promised all these 900 people that they were going to provide buses for them. If that doesn't happen, holy moly, people, there's going to be some action right here. Not only that, we're going to document also what is going on in the stadium, which is a humongous catastrophe, what is going on over there. Thousands and thousands of people waiting under the sun. And again, I asked myself this question: why all these NGOs and why all these United Nations are always located on the north border on with the United States of America? Because it's the only way that they can get profit. But they're not located over here. They're not located over here in the south border of Mexico. It's just unbelievable. Let me change the camera for you guys to see how this is. And the phone is getting a little bit hot. If the live feed gets cut off, it is because of the heat that is happening right now, and that ultimately it damaged the live feed. Let me just put right here. Look at this. This is how it looks. 12 days under this. And this is what I'm saying. Like, where is the United Nations? Flip the camera right here. Behind me, there's a huge crisis right here. And let's see if the Institute of National Immigration, that is the organization that has a lot of corruption. There's multiple evidence of migrants saying that they are charging between 12 to 14,000 pesos to move them from every municipal city to another municipal city due to inspection points that they can't be detained and returned back. And also, not only that they are charging on the buses between 4,000 to 6,000 pesos to take them into the north border. Who is going to answer to those corrupt questions? Nobody. And if there exists, if there's such as this corruption that every single migrant, they will tell you. I have asked multiple times when I'm in the middle of them, and I asked them, do you guys believe that there's corruption in the Institute National of Immigration? And do you guys believe that there's corruption in the COMPARTE, the Commission of Refugees? And all of them, at the same voice, at the same time, they say, yes, there is a lot of corruption. They charge this amount. They put people in front because they have money and they can achieve to pay out the officers so they can put them on the list, on the top of the list. And everybody else that is waiting, it's a disorder, man. It's a complete chaos. It's just nothing is working as they plan it to do. This globalist compact of immigration, since I started broadcasting, I have talked to every single one of you. And I have said to you guys, this globalist compact of immigration, it is a complete disaster. And it was created just to profit. Nobody is profiting out of this. Do you think that these people want to walk in a caravan for miles and miles and miles? Going through a jungle, going through the Darien Gap, where they see multiple people that they are dead continuously? Women being raped, children being kidnapped, children being organ harvested by traffickers, by demonic individuals, people migrating through 9 countries. Do you think that that is correct? And that is what we're here for. Now, there's another thing that we will be meticulously and particularly reporting, that is on the people from Africa, that they're coming over here. Because I'm not going to get specific on this. Hold on one second. I'm not going to be specific on this. Hold on. But there is a big problem. And this is what it has cost. When is the Institute of National Immigration is going to do something? When it is the Mexican government and the Mexican president going to stop lying about that they're fixing the problem? When is the Biden administration going to address that it was their plain fault that this catastrophe exacerbated and surpassed the necessities of governments and of voters? When? That is the number one question. When? And who's going to be held accountable for all the people that they have died on this idea, on this dream that is created for these people that they're vulnerable, a lot of them, and they're a necessity, a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them. But ultimately, who is going to be held accountable for those crimes? Nobody? It's just something that does not happen. It's something that goes away. Something that particularly just is up in the sky, you know, and it goes away. It's unbelievable what this catastrophe is showing to people. And when you see the catastrophe, when you walk with this gigantic problem that is affecting not only Mexico and the United States, but it's affecting the world, you ask yourself, where are these non-governmental organizations? Where are they? Thank you so much for joining in. Let me flip the camera and I will say goodbye to this live feed. We are 21 minutes in. Don't miss me. I will be live at Real America's Voice News at around particularly an hour. I will be now they're asking a question, how do they get the buses? The government of Mexico is providing the buses. And the government of Mexico is okay, so people are asking about the buses. So how does this work? So there's a law. Because of the enormous influx that is occurring in our border, the Mexican government said, you know what, we need to spread the migrants into different south border states. So first they said the migrants can only move to these border states. And these are the border states, south border states, Campeche, Yucatan, Oaxaca, Chiapas, and those border states, in Tabasco. So that did not work. So they said, you know what, we're going to spread them to other border states, to other south states, south central states, that is Puebla, Querétaro, Jalisco, Tabasco, and Oaxaca. But ultimately, the migrants, a lot of them, entirely majority of them, they don't want to stay in these border states. They want to go to the United States of America. So the Institute of National Immigration has an agreement with the government of the United States of America. Say, you detain them over there, you stop them and give them transportation and make sure that these people are staying in those states, which the Mexican government is doing a horrible job. And ultimately, they're doing a horrible job, not because they're stopping them, it's because they're doing a horrible job on providing transportation. And not only that, you know, they're just creating a catastrophe on top of a crisis. So you have that problem. And you have the problem that they are surpassing another state. And the transportation is being done, and the transportation is being given. But who's paying for it? The Mexican government. And they had an agreement with the Biden administration to continue with this, you know, transportation method. So it is not who's paying for the buses, if there's a smuggler paying for the buses. No, it is the Mexican government who is doing this. This is why I have said continuously, the Mexican government is complicit of all these irregular activities and irregular migration that is occurring, and all the people and the suffering, the people. Ultimately, the responsibility of every migrant to cross and to walk, they know the atrocities and they know what they're going to go through as they're walking with their child. So there's a huge responsibility on them to take that decision. But also it is incentivized by one idea. And the idea was the open border policy of Joe Biden. Now, there's a huge difference between smuggler and trafficker, yes. There's a lot of people that are being trafficked in the Darien Gap, also in South America and Central America. And in the borders of Mexico, a lot of them, there's two of them, trafficked and smuggled. There's huge smuggling operation in the north border of our country. And you can see it actually in all the videos that my partner, Real Anthony Apoya, is providing to you guys on a daily basis when he's live on the floor providing you guys video. Huge. This is a humongous business. I have said this before. The asylum and refugee business is the most lucrative business that exists in the world. And it is showing right now because between the asylum and refugee, there's a lot of loopholes. And the loopholes are, if you say it in the criminal way, trafficking, smuggling, organ harvesting, trafficking of drugs, all the trafficking that you can even imagine. That is the things that they are not filtered. This is why biometrics is extremely important to be done. And this is why there needs to be a regular, documented, peacefully and organized migration. So all of these atrocities, they get eliminated little by little. Thank you so much for joining in. We're going to continue live. I'll be live with Steve Gruber at 12, at 2:25 Eastern, 1:25 Pacific. So at around an hour, I will be live with Real America's Voice News. Join me over there. Follow my partner, Real Anthony Agüero, Getter, Rumble, Instagram, and Twitch. Follow Real America's Voice News, the voice of the people. Ben Berquan, Real America's Voice News, Captain America. Also follow Will Johnson, Unite America First. And follow me, Oscar Blue. Also follow Ali Bradley. Follow Ali Bradley TV. Follow all people that you like their news, the reality and truth to come out. Thank you so much. Subscribe to my channel at YouTube. Follow me at Getter. Follow me at Twitter. Follow me at Facebook. Buy Me a Coffee is on top of the link. If you guys like to contribute to our independent reporting and broadcasting, that's the only thing that keeps us going, people. So we can keep bringing you the reality and the truth of what is happening. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, peace and love. Because always, your country is first. God bless.